You made a great decision joining In the Trenches with Dave Lapham because our guest today, Chris Sims. This guy knows football savant, and he loves to talk football. I love to talk football with him. He and his dad, Phil, are great friends of our podcast. We're very, very appreciative of that. And Chris joins us to talk about the Super Bowl. A lot of great insight, his thoughts about the Super Bowl. Then, of course, we talk about Joe Burrow and where he ranks amongst quarterbacks in the National Football League, what the Bengals' future looks like. A lot of very, very interesting football conversation with Chris Sims. Thanks for joining us once again in the Trenches with Dave Lapham, brought to you by First Star Logistics, as always, coming from the outstanding studios. And what an outstanding guest we have today. None other than the great, and I mean great, Chris Sims. Covered this man when he played at Texas, outstanding. 26-6 as a starting quarterback for the Longhorns. That's right, 20 games over the loss, 26-6. There we go. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Tennessee Titans, Denver Broncos as a player, Patriots assistant coach. He's coached at the NFL level. Now, Football Night in America, Pro Football Talk Live, Sunday Night Football Final. This guy is here, there, everywhere. He is the man. Welcome, sir.
Thanks, man. Always good to be in the trenches with Dave Lapham. I appreciate it. I love talking ball with you, and thanks for listing off some of my accomplishments in life and always making me sound like a better player than I was. I appreciate that about you, Dave.
I enjoyed you, because at a very young age, you knew your football. You're definitely a guy that understands the game of football. Of course, a guy who has a dad like Phil Sims. It's a pretty good situation. You grew up around the game. You grew up right around the game, didn't you?
Yes, I did. No question. I mean, there was very few days where, Dad didn't regurgitate something Bill Parcells had told him or taught him once. And football, it's the family business. I get a lot of people that come up to me even to this day. Hey, sorry, I don't mean to bother you talking about football or whatever. And I'm like, what? It's what I love to do. I'd rather, there's nothing I'd rather talk about. And it was very fortunate not only to be around that growing up with my dad and the glory years of the NFC and the NFC East was such a great experience, but then was really fortunate, not only to go to Texas with Mac Brown, but be with a guy like John Gruden, get to see a guy like Jeff Fisher do it a different way, and he was successful in his own right, and then to go see Josh McDaniels in Denver and start to get a taste of that New England way of life. Has certainly, increased my knowledge throughout the years, and I'm very grateful for all those things.
Yeah, taking a little bit from everywhere, and that's what smart people do, and you're definitely that. Your dad's performance, 20 out of 22, the biggest game of his life, he plays almost to perfection. I mean, literally. That's rare when you can say, I played my best at the biggest moment. Everybody strives for that. Man, he did. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. Special day. Still can remember it. January 25th, 1987. I was 6.5 years old. It was first day we had. I'm going to Disney World, right? My father was famous for that. My dad's team also kind of my dad's team, another cool thing about them is they're responsible for the Gatorade shower, right? They're the team that made the Gatorade shower a thing.
Right.
So a lot of cool things about that football team. And I'd be lying. As much as I like a Joe Burrow or a Mahomes or a Jalen Hurts, when the Super Bowl starts, every game, I always root for a few incompletions. So Dad's record of 22 of 25 will stay intact. And he'll tell you he should have been 24 of 25. I think he had a drop, and then he had a no pass interference call. So he'll let you know if he's loose and relaxed and feeling himself that he should have been 24 or 25.
22 of 25. That's incomprehensible. It really is, man. All right, so let's talk about the Super Bowl and the quarterbacks who played in the Super Bowl. I really have a lot of respect for Jalen Hurts because, I mean, basically he was told, by Saban, look, you're not throwing the ball well enough. Tua's
Right.
our guy. Sorry, you're benched. He goes to Oklahoma, and he gets with a quarterback whisper a little bit there. But bottom line, it's him. He worked at it, and the way he threw the football in that game, I mean, it was dominant. He was putting it in places that were perfection, unbelievable.
Oh, he might have had the 3 greatest throws I've ever seen him make all in the one drive. I mean, that I mean, really. But you're right. It's a testament to him. It's everything we knew about him, but now we're getting to see the fruits of his labor as far as him working. And then again, here's another example of a guy you can change throwing mechanics. You can, tweak things and become better. It takes a lot of repetition. It takes work. Patrick Mahomes changed himself from last year to this year. You heard me, Joe Burrow changed himself from rookie year to second year just because he knew there was things he had to improve. So it's possible. And yeah, that's where, hey, we went into this year knowing the Eagles were going to be awesome. I picked them to go to the NFC Championship game and lose to the 49ers in the NFC Championship game, right? So, but the thing I questioned was, is Jalen Hurts going to be able to throw the ball at a consistently good level? And I think it was fair to question that with the way the year ended last year. And we knew they were the last 2 years kind of in the available quarterback market because I think of some of those concerns. But, good thing nothing happened because they built a team and an offense around him that's special. And, he played really well. There's no doubt about it. But I still think, Dave, the star of the show would be the Kansas City Chiefs defense and what they did to overcome some of the odds and things they had to overcome to win that football game.
I agree with you. Spagnuolo said, I got to take away something. So he had Bolton and those linebackers playing downhill. And they said, we're going to stop the running game. And I'm going to make Jalen Hurts beat me. I'm going to make him prove it. And he proved it. But he still lost the football game. He took away that running game. And it was like, man, that was just Spagnuolo. He stuck by his guns. Even when Hurst is making throughout, he's thinking, how much longer can he do this? I'm still going to stop the run. And they controlled the run. And Kansas City ran it. It was just a reverse of what I thought might take place.
I know. It's I picked the Chiefs to win the game. I thought they might be able to do some of the things they did in the game. I was scared about the Eagles steamrolling them a little bit like they did in the first quarter, early in the second quarter where I went, man, they're just so big. And I don't know if they're going to be able to stop them and they're just going to chew up clock. But, back to what you said was Spag, because I just got done watching this film of both sides of the ball not long ago. And it's one of the most calculated, risky game plans in the history of the Super Bowl. To your point of the linebackers playing downhill, I mean, they risked it all. They played some plays where I'd go, oh my gosh, they're leaving guys open. They're playing cover 0 on first down because they were going to stop the run, to your point. And it was a gamble. And it barely paid off because, like you said, Jalen Hurts made some throws and made some plays. But, the fact that 24-14 come out, championship drive, 24-21, and then to me, one of the biggest drives of the game was, yes, the Eagles go down the field on the drive that we talk about. We're talking about Jalen Hurts made 3 phenomenal throws. The out route to Goddard, a crossing route to, I think it was Quez Watkins, and then he actually had a post down the middle dropped, a little misplayed by Quez Watkins as well. But the Chiefs holding them to a field goal on that drive where you were going, wait, it's 24-21. Okay, they got a chance. And then you went, wait, hold them to a field goal 27-21. And it kind of looked like the Chiefs and Mahomes the drive before got things going. That to me was a monumental part of the game. The fact that they held that Eagles offense to only 11 points in the second half. And of course, made the biggest play of the game, where as great as Jalen Hurts' game was, that was one of the biggest blunders in Super Bowl history with that fumble and Nick Bolton picking it up and running for a touchdown.
No question. I mean, you look at he rushed for 3 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Nobody had ever done that. He rushed for 3 touchdowns and threw for over 300 yards. Only the 4th guy to do it in any time in the NFL history, regular season or postseason. I mean, those are crazy. And he loses. That's how tough it is to win the Super Bowl. And I'm looking at the Chiefs and I'm thinking, look at them run the football and look at them stay with it. They're down, to your point, by 10, 24-14. What do they do? Come out and hand it to Pacheco to start the second half. I'm like, dude, they're staying with the running game. They go down and they score. I'm like, they're right back at it. I mean, it's like, we're going to stick to our guns. Would they have like 23, 24 minutes time of possession, score 31 points? Efficient. I mean, and Chris, what about the deal? 2 touchdowns off the same look, okay, motion, and then bring it back. And they're, the defensive backfield shifting and rotating.
Right.
After one time, don't you say, make sure he goes all the way across before you start that movement? I mean, how do you get caught twice in that thing for 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, I think we talk about Spags and the calculated risks and the Bengal and the blitzes and all those looks to go, okay, hey, yeah, I'm going to be susceptible to some big pass plays, but I don't have any other choice. I can't let them run it up the middle for 8 yards every play, right? So that was a phenomenal, calculated, risky approach. And then on the other side, it was like, to what you're saying, hey, wait, we might have to leave our comfort zone here a little bit, run the ball a little bit more because there's not a lot of advantages for us to be had here. I mean, really, again, the Eagles were the better team. We knew that, but not so much so that a good game plan and that damn quarterback they got couldn't, even the scales out, right? And the patience in the run game, I thought there might be a chance they could run on Philadelphia. It was one of the weaknesses of their team this year. As you know, this is the first year in Mahomes' era where there was actually a run game that you had to respect to a degree with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, yeah, that was great in their patience and willingness to do that. And then the part you're talking about, stopping the run an issue. And I did a video on social media the week before the Super Bowl where I said, if there's one thing that concerns me with the Eagles defense, it was motions and pre-snap motions and shifts all year long. I would write notes and watch games on film and go, the ball's being snapped and the linebackers talking to people in the secondary, or they're trying, right? So, one, they're a little over aggressive and going for the kill and having a lot of communications. Wait, and trips, we want to run this coverage. Oh, no, they motioned over here. Well, they do something different and we want to run a different coverage and squash that. And it came back to bite them in this one. And the Chiefs kind of had a feel for what they were going to do, how they overly aggressively, reacted to some of those motions you talked about. They knew they were going to get that. And that's where, Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy, great game planning and understanding the rules of the team you're playing went a long way. And it just was, phenomenal plays right there, let alone a lot of other great things on that offensive side of the ball.
So they score 24 points in the second half. Chiefs do 17 in the fourth quarter. Mahomes has 1 incompletion in the second half.
Throwaway.
Yeah, a throwaway. Right. That's it.
Right.
I mean, other than that, he is like just on the and he only threw, when's the last time Mahomes threw the ball under 30 times in a significant game? Yeah, to me, it was almost like the reverse. It was like Philadelphia, Hurts had Mahomes numbers I was expecting to win a game, and Kansas City had the Hurts number supporting the running game that I thought might get. They reversed it and still got the outcomes they were looking for. It was weird.
It is. It's amazing. It really is, and it's what's amazing about the Kansas City Chiefs. I know they're the rivals of you guys there in Cincinnati, and it's a good one for sure. But they got a quarterback just like the guy you got in Cincinnati that has a magic quality about him to just get it done. The stats don't really ever tell the story. It's the magnitude of some of the plays and the completions and the moments in which he does it in. And see, to me, that's where the Chiefs are special team is like after forcing the field goal at the end of the half to only go down 24-14, it seemed like, from that moment on, every big got a big play, got a habit moment kind of swayed to the Chiefs side. And, the numbers aren't great. Hey, when your defense returns a fumble for a touchdown, you lose a possession there. And then, Kadarius Toney has a big punt return. You lose your opportunities to get some yards there. But to me, it was the moments. And again, in totality, the Eagles were the team. The Chiefs were the ones that had to change the way they played to even have a chance. And the fact that they pulled it off, I'm still amazed. Like I said, I picked the Chiefs, but as I was sitting there late in the first quarter, second quarter, I was going, oh man, oh wow. But the Eagles are even better than I gave them credit for. Like they are better. It's not even close. It's going to take something miraculous here for them to kind of pull this out. And the Chiefs, they've played in 3 Super Bowls, and they've been the lesser team in all 3 Super Bowls, and they've won 2, in my opinion. And that's freaking amazing.
That's a testament to the quarterback, and when you get that cooking, I mean that's just so. Okay, that's great Super Bowl discussion. I could talk to you 3 hours about the Super Bowl. I mean,
there's a lot to talk about.
I love talking football with you, man. So you mentioned the rivalry between the Bengals and the Chiefs, and the 2 quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, Mahomes and Burrow. If in your mind, Chris, who are the top 3 quarterbacks in the National Football League? And I know the season just ended. There's a lot of things to evaluate and recalibrate and all that sort of thing. But right now, as you sit here talking football, who are your top 3 guys at quarterback?
Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen are the top 3, right?
Okay.
And I think right now, if you evaluate this year, it's hard not to make Mahomes number 1. I'd probably make Burrow number 2 with the way things were evaluated this year, the way he played. Allen, of course, is still phenomenal and right there in that class. Wasn't his best year, and I think maybe there's some reasons for that. The elbow being sore. I would say he has the least help around him as compared to maybe the other great quarterbacks in the sport. But, I look at those 3 and I feel like, even those 3 separated themselves. I love Justin Herbert. He's right on the edge of that right there. I feel like Trevor Lawrence jumped into the top 5, top 6 conversation maybe in quarterback play, right? But I think those 3 right now for me, and projecting a little to the 2023 season, are, the 3 best in the game. And that's what's amazing about the AFC football right now. You arguably have the 5 best quarterbacks in the same conference.
You look at Kansas City, and they had so many rookies contribute. In fact,
amazing.
The top 3 teams in terms of rookie games started are Houston and Chicago, who have the first and second pick in the draft. Then number 3 is Kansas City, who won the Super Bowl. They have so many rookies step up. So, I mean, that's what you got to do, right? When you have a quarterback that is going to eat up a good chunk of cap, you have to be able to develop guys, get some free agents, but you got to do a good job in the draft, right?
Yeah, definitely. Drafting and developing is going to be crucial when you have star quarterbacks like Burrow and Mahomes or Josh Allen. And then, you might have to cut ties with a guy that you go, damn, dude, I can't believe we got to cut this guy, right? We're going to trade Tyreek Hill, right? Yeah, okay. Those are the decisions that had to be made to improve the rest of the football team. And I'm Tyler Boyd there in Cincinnati, guys like that, T. Higgins, there's going to be decisions that have to be made. You can't keep everybody, right?
Right.
But that is the amazing thing about the great quarterback and organizations right now. And I think, the Bengals, you guys got the great quarterback, and you're kind of on the precipice here of being one of the top organizations in football too. But what you said about the Chiefs, it's pretty damn amazing. When you go, this is kind of a rebuild year, and they won the Super Bowl. You look at their roster and the team that lost to the Bengals in the AFC Championship game, and you look at it now and you go, damn, there's a lot of different players on the team. Holy cow. And they won the Super Bowl. So I have a feeling this won't be the last time we see Chiefs versus Bengals in the AFC Championship game or the divisional round or whatever big playoff game it is, because they're just the quarterbacks. And then I think there's a talent for evaluating young talent as well in both organizations.
Yeah, I think it's like a crazy number. The Chiefs had 24 of their 53 guys on the roster were different this year as opposed to last year's AFC Championship loss against the Bengals. Almost half.
Right.
Almost half.
It's crazy. I went back. I always go back when you guys played each other in the AFC Championship game. I went back and watched the AFC Championship game from the year before, right? And we go back and watch it again. And I went back and went, damn, holy crap. I mean, none of these guys were even on the team here in Kansas City. It didn't really hit me until that moment. But, yeah, very impressive. And it's something they're going to have to continue to deal with, especially when, you got to pay Mahomes, got to pay Chris Jones, got to pay Travis Kelce, probably going to have to pay Orlando Brown, their big left tackle, pretty big chunk of money here. So they got some juggling to do, that's for sure.
To the Super Bowl one more time as a former offensive lineman, I was so happy for the Chiefs O-line because the whole week, oh my God, Philadelphia's pass rush. Oh, and what do the Chiefs do? And honestly, I give Andy Reid, Bieniemy, all the coaches, they had backs in there. I mean, they helped, but the offensive line did a hell of a job when they had to match up one-on-one, and they had a great scheme in terms of protecting Mahomes. And he didn't throw it a ton. They ran the ball, all the good things you have to do to make sure the offensive line can do their job. But, man, to not give up a sack, and I think less than a third of the time he was even pressured, which is a phenomenal thing. I mean, that part of it.
Phenomenal thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and no, Dave, it was another big reason I kept trying to tell people, like, hey, the Chiefs, again, the Eagles are better in totality, but it's a matchup league. And it's a matchup league where I went, wait, Kansas City has some things about their team that make sense in the matchup, let alone the quarterback and the coach, like we talked about. But, yeah, that's one thing I think was a little overlooked. One, I was saying last week on Radio Row, I think the Eagles' pass rush is a little overrated. Again, it's great. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I think people were talking about it a little bit like it was the greatest thing you'd ever seen. And I just wanted to be like, whoa, let's calm down a little bit there. And then I don't think people were quite giving the Chiefs offensive line the respect it deserved. I know they don't run the ball a ton like you were talking about, but they ran it enough. And, they're built to protect the passer. That's what they're built to do. And then Andy Reid being an ex-O line coach, that's where I just went, man, I had a hard time thinking that blitzes and things like that were going to, catch this group off guard, let alone see the Mahomes factor is – also something that doesn't go in the stat book, right? Hey, the Chiefs played a defense where they said, the thing we're worried about second or third is Jalen Hurts. We're going to worry about something else first. So Hurts gets that. When you play Kansas City, it's always, wait, what do you do to stop Mahomes? How do we confuse Mahomes? How do we keep Mahomes in the pocket? Should we spy him? Should we do this? Should we do that? Right? And Mahomes' great talents, you can't play zone because he'll pick it apart, just like Joe Burrow. And then you want to play man, but it's scary because he's a good aggressive down the field thrower. You don't want him to sit in the pocket all day, but he's the greatest blitz quarterback in the history of football, so you can't blitz him. So the Eagles are a team that wants to rush 5 primarily through the year, but they were playing the one team where they went, wait, we got to be a little risky. It's a little risky rushing 5 against this guy. That's one less guy in coverage. That's one less guy on first down when he runs up the middle for a 20-something yard gain, right? And now that backer, that safety is not sitting in the middle of the field ready to tackle him. That's the Mahomes factor. And that's why he's an all-time great and a first ballot Hall of Famer. And the stats don't always say all the value he has to that team. And I feel like people have lost. I've seen more good articles the last 2 days written about Jalen Hurts, and he lost the Super Bowl with one of the biggest blunders in Super Bowl history, and over the guy that was Mahomes, who was quarterbacking the lesser team and pulled off an upset, and yet the other guy who was up by 10 and blew the second time at a 10-point lead, we talk about him like he won the Super Bowl. It's a little frustrating to me, honestly, Dave. It does. I don't get it.
I can understand that 100,000%. The final thing is, as a former lineman, when I look at how Andy Reid and Bieniemy, how they called the game and how the Chiefs executed it, I can't remember 3rd and 8. It was 2nd and short, 3rd and short, 2nd and medium. I mean, one of the touchdown drives, they never got the 3rd down. I'm like, that takes care of pass rush. No pass rush.
Exactly.
I mean, we're talking about we're ahead of the chains. We're handling down and distance. I was like, man, these guys have a shot now. They have a shot.
And no, it's a great point by you. You're exactly right. Only 8 third downs the whole game, right?
Yeah.
And to what you're talking about, extended periods of time of not even having a 3rd down. And then here's another great thing that they overcame in the game. The Chiefs were I believe, either the worst or second worst third and short football team in all of football this year. And
Wow.
then there they were in this game, and they converted some really big third and shorts, right?
You're a
Whether it was
national.
run, pass, the Pacheco outside run on the last drive, right? Because they were expecting them
Yep.
to run up the middle, right?
Yep.
So that was a great job by them and kind of self-scouting themselves and realizing, wait, we got to improve in this area if we want to be this great team in the Eagles.
So obviously, Chris, it's a quarterback league, no question about it. The Bengals can start negotiating with Joe Burrow with a contract extension sooner rather than later, right? I mean, every hour you wait, the price is going up. I mean, you got to get it done now and set a budget, right? I mean, don't you?
Yeah, I would think so. Get it for the low a little bit. I don't get, like Josh Allen or Mahomes, I don't get the sense that Joe Burrow wants to hold the organization's feet over the fire for every penny he can get. He understands the big picture here, that he needs to keep some of these guys around him to make him look good, to win football games, all of that. So, yeah, and to your point, you get it done. And see, this is where I feel bad for Baltimore because they can't plan their future. They're like, they got a lump sum of money just sitting there like, wait, it's for Lamar if he takes it, but we don't know how much we can spend for this guy or that guy or this guy because we got to keep this here. And that's the beauty of getting the contract done early like Allen or Mahomes did. So, yeah, I would expect them to figure this out fairly shortly. And like I said, I don't look at Burrow, Mahomes, Allen. I think they're the type of guy that go, okay, wait, if my career's over and I have $300 million in the bank, is it really matter that I missed out on $340 million in the bank? I mean, fuck, you're still buying a yacht and whatever else you want in life, right? So sorry, I just dropped the F-bomb. My bad there, Dave.
That's all right. We'll get it.
All right. You got me all riled up there.
No, I got you. I love it. I love your passion. Love everything about you. So yeah, the Bengals and the Chiefs and it's like Joe Burrow has said, the window's as long as my career, as long as I'm here.
Yeah, right.
You agree with that, right? I mean, it is.
Oh, I totally agree. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the value of that kind of quarter. The one thing, hey, forget on the field, all the right plays, all the right throws, big throws, everything that's there to be had. And then, of course, like we were just talking about with Mahomes, to me, the other thing is how many plays did I watch this year and I go, whoa, the defense won. Oh, Joe Burrow still got a 20-yard completion. Oh, the defense won. Oh, I don't know how he got out of that. Whoa, 20-yard gain. There's the value of that is, priceless, let alone the confidence and the mojo he gives your team. When you walk out in the field, it just doesn't matter. You go, wait, we got a chance to win. Number 9's here. We can win today. It doesn't matter who we're playing. And that's what the great quarterback does, just like we saw in the Super Bowl the other day. One team was better, but the other team was really, really good and had Mahomes, and he could make up for some of those holes that were missing. And Philadelphia had to worry about all the things he does and everything like that, and that equaled the game out a little bit.
Unbelievable. Well, that was the fastest half hour or so of my life.
Damn, it was.
I mean, that flew by, and appreciate you carving time because I know you're in demand because of your excellence, and appreciate you visiting with us. It was a blast. Have the best day you ever had, my man.
Always. You're the man, Dave, and we'll get back together. I know we got to talk about some free agency. We got some drafts, so we'll make that happen at some point. But damn, your Bengals team, they don't need a whole lot of players. They should be pretty damn good. Just some icing on the top of the cake, really, or some future free agent signing and draft picks, just to build depth and for what's coming down the road. That's where the Bengals are, so that's exciting for that organization. But thanks for having me, Dave.
Like the way you talk, my man. Appreciate you, Chris.
See you, man. Be good.
Dave Lapham here, and every day I am grateful for my experience to have played professional football. As a player, I realized self-motivation, leadership, and appreciating your teammates are key. At First Star Logistics, you can use those same attributes to create the life you want for you and your family. Build your future by working hard like I did. You'll see results both on and off the field. Call First Star Logistics today and be part of our winning team.
Opportunity knocking.